morning, everybody. Welcome to our first webinar of a series of webinars that we will organize this week. We're going to share with you today DINO 365. And just to make you a little bit jealous, these are our headquarters in the south of the Netherlands. In this medieval castle that we make those beautiful applications, as we're going to show now one of them. Just a small overview of what we have for applications. We do have Shipit. Shipit allows to organize full shipment process connected to hundreds of carriers from out of Business Central. We have direct banking. Direct banking allows to organize, to manage incoming and outgoing payments to thousands of banks, again via Business Central. Connects the Microsoft world to a non-Microsoft world. I always take as an example that you have an e-commerce site where an order is registered, and with Connected you inject it into Business Central, and then with Shipit, the shipment is automatically done. And then we have Approve It, and Approve It allows to do the document flow using electronic signing. And last but not least, DINO 365, where we're going to show you a little bit in this webinar. We do have an international network. As you can see, more than 3,500 licenses sold in 40 countries and more than 400 partners worldwide. Now I give the word to my colleague Andre, who's going to explain a little bit about DINO 365.
Good morning, everybody. DINO 365 is a small app that we have on AppSource that you can use to, let's say, simplify creation extensions without any interference for development to get everything on your Business Central environment. We created a small wizard that you can use to just create your own extension, and you can publish that in your Business Central application. In that wizard, you can choose a table and a page where you want to have the extra fields, and you can deploy it to the user who wants to make use of those fields. At the end of, let's say, the creation of the wizard, you will get a pop-up for paying, and you can directly pay through a PayPal procedure. So you can directly use your new extension in Business Central. First of all, before we continue this webinar, it's extremely important that you test your software and our software. Also with new releases, we think that testing also is more important. Also because we integrate, of course, in your Business Central environment, but also other third-party are integrating in your Business Central environment, and it's not always the case that that will be, let's say, compatible with each other. So please be careful to use our apps and first sandbox and testing. That's our goal and best reason to do. All right. If you have questions after this two recordings that we are going to show, just leave them in the top, and we try to address them after the videos. What we want to show you today in this little webinar is two recordings. One is, let's say, just adding a table and a page field in your own extension, and an additional thing for DINO is that you can edit the data directly in a table. We start with the first demo, and that's just a wizard, how you can add a field to a table and how to show that on a page. I will start the video right now.
Hello, thank you for joining this webinar about DINO 365. The goal of this webinar is to get familiar with the simplicity of the DINO app and how this app can help you out with some simple features. After the install and publish, we start with the DINO Add Field wizard. This wizard will guide you through the steps of adding a field to a table or page. So search for DINO and let's start with the wizard. The first step is to create the basics for the new extension. The first field is the extension name. In this example, I want to create a Boolean field on a sales order, which is used to identify if the sales order is created from an external web shop. I will call my extension web order. The publisher field is used to identify the person who is responsible for creating the extension. Of course, we need information about the version. For the webinar, I will leave it as the default. The prefix is also used to identify the extension in your database. The last part is to set the object range. This is usually the 5,000 range, which is normally used for customizations and for test purposes. Then we arrive to the run mode option if you want to use the advanced mode for extending table and pages, or just follow the default, which will guide you per table. In this webinar, we will continue with the default. We click Next. The wizard will open the next page. Step 2 of the wizard. In this page, we will look up the table where we want the extra table field. Because we want extra information about the sales order, we will extend the sales header with a field. In the drill down, we search for the sales header table. We insert the table and then click Next to proceed. In step 3 of the wizard, the add and design of the fields takes place, adding the new field to the table, and if needed, showing the field on a page. The new field we want to see is a Boolean field, which says something about the source of the sales order. If the source is a web order, this Boolean should be true. After deployment, the development team can use this field when a sales order from a web shop is created. This field should be visible on the sales order page and sales order list. So first step is to add the field and give this field a name. I call this field web order and I set the field type to Boolean field. The length is not mandatory if you use a Boolean field. We will skip this field and click Next. We arrive to step 4, showing the fields on pages. In this step, I want to add the informational field to the sales order and sales order list. I want to have the field visible behind the status field. So the first step is to add the pages I need for this and proceed with the placing of the field on the pages. We start with the sales order. Search and add the sales order by selecting the sales order header. After adding the sales order header, we add the sales order list. For both pages, we will select the new Boolean field and define the placing on the page. First, you set the anchor field. In this scenario, the anchor field is the status field. After selecting the field, choose if you want your field before or after the anchor field in the page. If needed, you can add the application area, and there is even a possibility to have some smart tooltips for the fields. When ready, then proceed with the next button. The extension is finished. If you already paid for the license, you will directly be prompted to install or export your created extension. If payment is not yet executed, you can pay directly with the PayPal integration for one or multi-PE users depending on your extension. Be aware, payment is per user. Because of the fact I have a paid license, the extension is installed, and I can directly use and see the fields after I do a restart of the Business Central application. Searching for the sales order and opening will show the extension field web order, and I can manually start setting the true false. Or when automated, the web development team can start using the field for identifying the imported web orders in your Business Central environment. This is what DINO can do for you. Thank you for listening. Hello, thank you for joining this webinar of our DINO 365 app. The goal of this webinar is to get familiar with the simplicity of the DINO app and how this app can help you out with some simple features. After the install and publish, we start with the DINO Add Field wizard. This wizard will guide you through the steps of adding a field to a table and page. So search for DINO and let's start with the wizard.
So the recording started over again, so I skipped it. So this is, let's say, a short overview what you can do with the DINO wizard. So just make a simple extension, add some fields on a table and your pages, and you can directly use them after paying. An additional feature that we have in DINO 365 is just open a table in the background, and if needed, you can just let's say modify data, delete data, or add data. This is also a little bit depending, of course, of your permissions. Some tables are just not that's feasible for the removing or modifying. So that's something to remember if you're going to use this table. Not every table is easy without having the correct permissions for editing. I will start the recording.
Do you remember the good old days of Business Central? The days when you could see the developer side of Dynamics Nav of Navision Financials? The days when you directly could open a table of your database and with enough permission, modify or delete records? With the DINO Edit Table functionality, you can have a revival of these days. After installation of DINO, just search for the DINO Edit Table. Enter the table with the data records you want to add, delete, or modify, and start your action. When ready, you can save and exit and the data is modified. In this scenario, I will just change the status field from uploaded to new for a transport order because it's stuck on this uploaded status. But you cannot change this status in the transport order directly. Now we search for the transport order and we see that the specific transport order is in uploaded status, but the field cannot be changed. If allowed with your permission set, you can do a page inspection to identify and copy the table number. Now just open the table with the DINO Edit Table page, enter this number or search the transport order and insert the records. Search for the stuck transport order and change the status into new. Close the page and check the transport order page. You can proceed with this transport order. Just remember, this is of course not possible when you do not have the permissions to open, modify, or delete the table, of course. What a great action. This is all you need. No developer hours and no time lost.
So this is, let's say, a short overview of what DINO can do for you. Thank you for joining us. And certainly, if you want to know more, contact our sales department at sales@idn.nl. I don't know if there are any questions at the moment.
No, I haven't seen any questions.
Then we will stop this webinar and we wish you a pleasant day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
IDIN. Simplify your workflow. Explore the perfect fit for your industry at idin.nl.